Welcome to the world of the Vikings, where the men wore fearsome beards and the women braided their hair with a flair unmatched by any modern stylist. Picture this: a society where sailing across treacherous seas, wielding heavy swords, and pillaging coastal villages were just another Tuesday. But hold on to your helmets, because there's more to Viking life than just epic battles and dragon-headed ships. Viking society was a tapestry woven with hard work, community spirit, and yes, some rather disgusting jobs. These Norsemen and women, hailing from the cold and rugged landscapes of Scandinavia, were as tough as the iron they forged into weapons. Living in long houses with walls made of timber and thatched roofs, they thrived in close-knit communities where everyone had a role to play. From the shores of Norway to the plains of Denmark, Viking life revolved around survival and resourcefulness. Imagine waking up in the morning, not to an alarm clock, but to the sound of livestock and the smell of a wood-burning stove. Breakfast wasn't a quick bowl of cereal, but a hearty meal to fuel a day of relentless labor. Now you might think of Vikings as fierce warriors and explorers, but they were also farmers, traders, and skilled craftsmen. They tended to their crops, raised livestock, and engaged in trade that connected them with distant lands. But with every society comes the less glamorous side of things. For every warrior brandishing a sword, there was someone back home handling the less appealing tasks, the unsung heroes who kept Viking society running smoothly. The Vikings had a certain practicality about them, understanding that every job, no matter how unpleasant, was vital for their community's survival. Whether it was tanning hides in a concoction that would make even the bravest nose twitch or shoveling manure to fertilize their fields, these tasks were embraced with a sense of duty and perhaps a bit of resigned humor. In Viking times, the line between everyday life and the stuff of legends was razor thin. Their world was a blend of the mundane and the mythic, where tales of gods and giants were told around the hearth, and the realities of day-to-day life were equally compelling. So, as we embark on this journey through the most disgusting jobs of the Viking Age, remember, these were not just tasks, but the backbone of a society that has captured our imagination for centuries. Buckle up, because things are about to get delightfully gross. Imagine a job so stinky that even the bravest Viking warrior would hesitate before taking it on. Welcome to the world of tanning leather, where hides and skins were transformed into usable materials through a process that would turn even the strongest stomach. To tan leather, Vikings used a mix of animal brains, urine, and other delightful ingredients, creating a concoction that was both effective and incredibly pungent. Tanners often worked on the outskirts of villages for obvious reasons. The smell was so potent that it was said you could find the tannery with your eyes closed, simply by following your nose. This wasn't a job for the faint-hearted, but it was absolutely essential. Leather was used for clothing, shoes, shields, and a variety of tools and equipment that were vital to Viking life. The process began with soaking the hides in a vat of urine to remove the hair and soften the skin. This was followed by a thorough scrubbing and stretching, ensuring the leather was supple and durable. Finally, the hides were treated with animal brains, a method believed to make the leather more flexible. The end product was high-quality leather, but the journey to get there was nothing short of a sensory assault. It's hard to imagine anyone looking forward to a day at the tannery, but this job was crucial. The tanner's dedication ensured that Viking warriors had the leather armor and gear they needed for battle, and everyday Vikings had sturdy shoes and clothing to endure the harsh Scandinavian climate. So next time you slip on a pair of leather shoes, spare a thought for the Viking tanners and their olfactory sacrifices. If you thought tanning leather was bad, let's delve into the world of chamberlain duties. In Viking society, the chamberlain's job was akin to a modern janitor, but with an extra dose of unpleasantness. Their primary responsibility? Managing and cleaning the lord's privy, or latrine. That's right. These unsung heroes were the ones dealing with the aftermath of Viking feasts. A typical day for a chamberlain involved emptying chamber pots, cleaning out the latrines, and making sure the household remained relatively odor-free. It was dirty work, but someone had to do it. The chamberlain's role was essential for maintaining hygiene in the longhouses, preventing the spread of disease, and ensuring a more comfortable living environment for everyone. Despite the less than glamorous nature of their work, chamberlains were often trusted servants. They had close access to their lords and, in many cases, knew more about the household's inner workings than anyone else. This proximity granted them a certain level of respect and importance, even if their daily tasks were rather unsavory. The next time you grumble about taking out the trash, remember the chamberlains of Viking times. Their willingness to tackle the dirtiest jobs helped keep Viking society running smoothly, proving that no task is too small when it comes to maintaining the health and well-being of a community. Now, let's journey to the docks and hunting grounds where the sight and smell of gutting fish and animals was a daily occurrence. Vikings were expert hunters and fishermen, but their work didn't end with the catch. Once the animals were brought in, they had to be cleaned and prepared, a task that was both messy and vital. Picture this: piles of freshly caught fish, slippery and slimy, needing to be gutted and cleaned before they could be smoked, dried, or cooked. The process involved removing the innards, which was a smelly, bloody affair. Similarly, hunters had to field dress their prey, removing organs and preparing the meat for transport back to the village. Despite the mess, this job was essential for the Viking diet. Fish and game were major sources of protein, crucial for their strength and stamina. The fishermen and hunters took pride in their work, knowing that their efforts provided sustenance for their families and communities. So, next time you enjoy a perfectly grilled fish or a hearty stew, give a nod to the Viking fishmongers and hunters. Their ability to handle the grimiest parts of food preparation ensured that their people never went hungry, even if it meant getting their hands more than a little dirty. Viking farmers were the backbone of their society, but their work was far from glamorous. Among their many duties, handling manure was one of the most crucial and the most disgusting. Manure was the secret ingredient to a bountiful harvest, used to fertilize crops and enrich the soil. Every day, farmers collected manure from their livestock, piling it onto fields or into compost heaps. This wasn't just about shoveling dung. It required a certain expertise to manage the composting process, ensuring the manure broke down properly to release its nutrients. The smell was predictably overpowering, but the benefits were undeniable. Without manure, crops wouldn't grow as well, and the community's food supply would be at risk. Viking farmers understood the importance of their work, even if it meant enduring the stench and mess. They turned waste into a valuable resource, demonstrating an impressive level of resourcefulness and resilience. The next time you enjoy fresh produce, remember the Viking farmers and their manure-spreading prowess. Their willingness to get their hands dirty ensured that their society could thrive, proving that sometimes the most important jobs are also the dirtiest. Finally, let's talk about the grim task of grave digging. In a world where life was often cut short by disease, battle, or harsh living conditions, grave diggers played a crucial role. These individuals were responsible for preparing the final resting places for their fallen kin, a job that required both physical strength and emotional fortitude. Grave diggers worked tirelessly, digging graves by hand and preparing the sites for burials. During times of plague or war, their workload increased dramatically. This was a job no one envied, yet it was essential for the community's health and spiritual well-being. Proper burials were important for preventing the spread of disease and for honoring the dead according to Viking customs. Despite the somber nature of their work, grave diggers were respected for their service. They provided a final act of dignity for those who had passed, ensuring that their community could mourn and remember their loved ones properly. So next time you visit a cemetery, take a moment to appreciate the hard work and dedication of those who dig graves. In Viking times, their efforts were a crucial part of maintaining both physical and spiritual health, proving that even the most somber jobs hold great significance. Write in the comments which of these jobs you would have loved to do in Viking times, despite all the disgusting nuances. I love Viking times. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new videos. Bye!